What?
There's a camera right here.
Oh.
We get everything, bro.
Ah.
We get everything. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and kill that off the record.
In a world where nobody knows what the world is, one must seek and speak truth unequivocally. Be the change you want to see.
It's easy wide thumping on it.
Okay, here's the thing. During my downtime, there's nothing I enjoy more than to relax at home in my recliner with my favorite beer while watching the Clown World Tour with Nathan and Austin, while Michelle gives me a very firm back rub. Oh yeah, that's a bit harsh. Yeah, right there. Ow, whoa, wait. Those are strong hands.
So if liquid is going to end up flat if you leave it. But so here's the bigger question. What is the shape of the flat Earth? Is it a disc? Is it a square?
Like he already said, we're not allowed to travel past the 60th parallel, and no one's ever observed the edge where you just take a picture with your iPhone and things are falling off. So we don't know what the perimeters are. We just know the surface is not curving in all directions. That would be measurable, and we falsified it.
And there are ice shelves that are very high. Antarctica is known to have the highest elevation in the world. It's also the number one desert in the world. It gets less precipitation than any other area in the world. So we know things about Antarctica that would contain the water. Once you get towards that ice shelf, they'll intercept you. You're not allowed to go see what's beyond there. The scriptures say the Earth's immeasurable, so I really don't know if it continues to extend where we couldn't measure it. I don't know, but we have to kind of be intellectually honest here, right? Because what got us in this mess was making up stories, so believing made up stories.
We're in the full disclosure of so many things now.
True.
This is a great time, man. This is the awakening.
Absolutely.
And it is the time that we all need to look at everything. It's like, what was the story that was given? Right. I mean, and it's everything. So it's a fraction of reality. It's like this, what is this whole soup that we're in? Is it flat? Is it round? Is it inside? Is it outside?
Yep.
But, you know, still the human mind has to get down that left brain channel of having, okay, well then how do we take them? So like here are some questions that popped up for me. If there is an edge, unless that edge has a wall, how come the water doesn't flow off?
Like I said, Antarctica has like the highest elevation on the
Oh,
Earth.
you're saying it makes like a little bowl.
Yeah, basically.
It would have to.
We can see that. Like we have tons of footage of the ice wall, an ice wall. But now, does it go in a perfect circle around it? Is it the same size we think that they said it is?
Right.
I would say probably not. I don't think we have an accurate layout of the land.
But also, if you look at the pictures, it doesn't curve around itself like an island. It curves around the observer like a perimeter.
Now, how did y'all get turned on to flat Earth?
I heard about it like 5 years ago in a song, and I thought it was stupid. And I tried to debunk it with my girlfriend at the time, and 5 years later, here I am. You can't debunk it.
I heard that same rapper, and I thought it was stupid, but then I was studying applied neuroscience, biochemistry, epigenetics, angiogenesis, and like stuff that no one looks into, and the smartest guy I'd ever met said, have you ever researched flat Earth? And the first question I asked wasn't like, why do you think it's flat? Or why does water fall off the edge? No offense. But I was like, how long you been looking into this, Michael? Because I know you're really sharp. And he said 7 months. And I'm like upset that he hadn't told me sooner. And he goes, well, I had to make sure. And so I looked into it for 3 days, couldn't sleep the whole 3 days. Then I spent thousands of dollars testing myself. Then I started the largest research group in the world. That got censored to high hell and then deleted. And so now we're on tour, going around telling people what we've already done, what we've observed, what we falsified. And it's just the reality, bro. People can face the facts. The truth's incontrovertible. It doesn't care about your feelings. You can attack it. You can try and deride it, but it will always be the truth.
Well, that's the whole trick, is finding the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I already knew the moon landings were fake. I don't know how you feel about that, but I knew that was...
I did that whole story.
Right. So
with
then
Andrew Mitchell. I mean,
yeah.
I sat down with him.
Cool. Then you're that's good.
This is my beat, man. This is my beat. That's why I don't have judgments about it. I'm looking for the truth.
Yeah.
And it is not about this person's wrong, that person's right, because there's a little truth in everything.
Just find the truth,
right? Well, we do know this is a big fucking illusion.
Yeah,
We're trying to get a handle on what this illusion is.
Yeah, of course.
And quite frankly, it takes a lot of balls.
Oh yeah.
It takes a lot of balls. Say, the fucking Earth is flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. We get attacked forever.
I'm sure you get a lot of
Death threats and people trolling us.
Here's some questions. This one came to my mind.
Of course, ask them all.
Again, and these are just questions that not about disproving anything, but the current question, like, well, that made sense. Yeah, the Earth is turning 10,000 miles an hour. I'm a pilot, been one for 40 years. How come I can fly one way and the other way, and I'm still going the same ground speed?
Of course.
So here's the question, though. I can take off from this airport right here, going straight east, and if I got enough fuel to keep flying straight east, eventually I'm going to come back right here. Well, how does that happen?
Well, let me give you a little observation real quick, bro. So, pretend polar north is where the compass is pointing.
Okay.
So, polar north, you hold the compass this way, and then you head east or west, and you're actually making a giant left or right turn around polar center. So you're not flying in a straight line, you're not walking in one direction and then coming back that way. That's weird and doesn't happen. You circumnavigate with a compass because it points towards magnetic north. East or west are just giant circles. So same way we walk around our neighborhoods.
Is this meant to be somewhat of a representation of
It's
flat?
is
a working theoretical.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but that's why my first question was, what does that look like?
Similar
So
to that.
Yeah, so it's laid out
So
flat.
the east to west circumnavigation is the only type that's ever been done. So like you could go north to south if there's a ball. So shut up, the stupid flat earthers. Oh yeah, you get David White's out.
Hold on, yeah, I'm sure we can. I'm gonna get him some flyers.
Whatever they
Show 'em
can,
David Weiss is
immediately
out. Or
know,
show it to 'em and maybe-
all the world superpowers have agreed, like China, Russia, U.S. You can't go there and check it out, bro. It's
So how do you account for time and seasons?
Well, go. You want to?
from the sky, yeah, sure. So time comes from the sky. So we have like seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. This all comes from the sky. Every year, the stars come back and reset, right? And then the sun and the moon move over top of us. The sun has an orbit over top of us that gets closer and further away throughout the year, which is where you can see. Right? Like, really, it's different. Yeah, so really, time can only work on a flat Earth that's not moving. Time would change after 1,000 years on the globe.
A few
Because
years.
Yeah, really, 1,000 years is too much. But because you're spinning and shooting around the sun and shooting through space, and the galaxy's shooting through space, so the stars would change, our time would change, but they've been the same forever. You know?
So that's a next good question. Then what about the stars and the other planets?
Yeah,
that we know about.
let
Are
me-
they flat?
Let me expound on that real quick. So what he's saying is the sun, the moon circle polar center. In the winter, they move outward. It's called southern declination. They move towards the Tropic of Capricorn. In the summer, they move towards the Tropic of
Talking about
Cancer.
the stars and
Well, not
the sun.
they, the sun.
Yeah, yeah.
And the moon does it every 28 days. So they have what's called a sun analemma and a moon analemma. It's a figure eight. The paths are lopsided. It's smaller in the north, bigger in the south, because it actually has more of a distance to travel as it's in the southern latitudes than when it's in the northern latitudes. You ask what the stars and planets are. They're locked in the firmament. They're for signs and seasons. We have 88 constellations. Stationary northern pole star that's been used to celestial navigate for thousands of years. Polaris means pole star. So, and planets are just moving independent of that rotating star plane. So if you take star trails or time lapses of the sky, they make perfect circles around, other than refraction. When they get close to the horizon, they'll be pulled down or pushed upward and causing it to be oblate. But that's just apparent. It's not actual. Like, they do make perfect circles around the northern pole star when they're above you. And that's what happens. It's repeatable. We are not blasting through space, because if it were, they claim we have stellar parallax. We wouldn't have constellations. We wouldn't have a pole star. Every 6 months, we'd be looking at a different night sky, because we'd be on the other side of the sun. They say we orbit the sun every year. So 6 months later, we'd be on the other side looking at a different night sky. We've done observations where you can see the Little Dipper, the Big Dipper, Orion's Belt all year long.
So on that same general line,
Yeah.
are those bodies flat or are they round?
They could be just luminaries.
This is what
Or
you
just-
got to know. So
I mean, is this a little bit like the Truman Show?
Yes.
100%. The true
They put it out.
man.
They put it out in front of you.
They say they call it the true man show. They call it the Truman Show.
Planet literally means, like, the etymology of planet, what the word means is wanderer. So it's the same as the other lights in the sky, bro. It just wanders. So they all have a certain orbit, but they have a retrograde. They're a little. Now Enoch says they're rebellious angels. I'm not saying what they are, but they are just lights in the sky. When we zoom in with the P1000, which is like what the strongest commercially available zoom in the world, they're not static, meaning still. They move.
Right.
And they look just like the stars.
Yep.
So what they're saying about the planets isn't true. It's not some terra firma of a sphere that spins and you can land on at all. I mean, we look at them and they move. Now, NASA will show you a picture that's a CGI, admittedly a CGI, and say this is a planet, but it's not. So that's the main question we get. The Earth is basically the basement, right? It's not like a disk up in a solar system with planets. It's like, it's the bottom floor, and all those lights above us move and reset every year for thousands of years.
They're
So
for
here's a
us.
question, like when you say they lied to us, who lied and why?
Oh, well, they don't come out in the news and say, here's our names.
No, I'm
you know what I mean?
no,
But
I'm asking
Neil
you
deGrasse
to.
Tyson, Bill Nye, you know, the Freemasons, the people at NASA, high-level
You
people at
went
NASA.
all the way back.
Rockefellers,
All the way back, you're going to
The
get
cabal, you're just all the way back at
The Zionists.
all, you
and-
don't get the real name. Like, we don't know the real names. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, you've heard of them. Those are like the bankers, bro. Like they're publicly known, but yeah, there's an
really
elite
back to the
bloodline.
Yeah.
Medici.
Yeah, they have
family. You can get back
they
to
have
that.
what's like a one-way mirror, where they can see us and everything we do, and we have to report to them and get a fishing license and let them know when we want to smoke marijuana on paper. But they can do anything they want, and the rules don't apply to them, laws don't apply to them. They don't belong to any one particular country,
No one knows they exist.
and no one knows they exist. So,
Well,
so
like,
total
they know
cosmopolitans.
the group exists, right? But they don't know who they are. So that's the answer. I mean, there's tons of groups. The Jesuit order is incredibly powerful. The Masonic order is incredibly powerful, only at the top. Zionists are incredibly powerful. These aren't like little groups on their own, though. They all have a same belief system, a doctrine that they uphold. It's a Luciferian doctrine, but they would say it's just the doctrine of enlightenment, transmutation, becoming enlightened, blah, 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 blah. They think that they're literally superior to us because they track their blood back to the Aryans and Atlantis.
Well,
and,
the demonic.
Yeah, the Georgia guys.
That's all. I mean,
yeah,
let's
so
just
they
call it
lied
what it
about
is.
Yeah.
you know they lied
Just
about
call
the
it
Earth,
now.
right? Like that's a speculative question, but if we're shooting through space and we came from rocks and monkeys, like nothing matters. You're easy to brainwash. But if it's the center of everything and the sky just keeps resetting around you, you're the center of everything, then the Creator made you. Now you know you're powerful. You don't need to take orders from the government because the Creator made you.
Yeah.
They cannot control us if we know that. If only 40% of people realize what the Earth is, it's over. Game over. That's why we do it.
Well, it's all of it. And the game is that there's a very small body that once the light is shined on them,
Yeah, fair enough.
right?
Like roaches.
I mean, you're going to see a fracturing of everything, including what is this reality?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's a flat globe projection. Who the hell knows?
Can't be.
Huh?
How could it be flat and a globe, though? Those are contradictory.
Well, you know, it's sort of like in a 24 hours it can be a night in a day. And I'm not saying it is. I'm not making any projections. I'm just simply saying at this moment in time, in this awakening, it is anything. And I promise you we could talk for hours. There's just so many subject matters. Like, do you even need to eat? Or
No.
can you just get your chi directly? by
Eating's a
breathing?
luxury.
Yes, you can. Right, exactly. So there's a lot of things to fracture and go through. Here would be a couple of questions, though. What drives you here? What's motivating?
They're lying to children about where they came from. They think they came from rocks and monkeys, and then they're apathetic nihilists that get brainwashed and don't care about life and have suicide and drug problems and die early. So lying to the children is a big part of it. I don't really care about the $60 million a day that much because they take way more than that to go murder people that are brown overseas every year. So I don't.
Talk about what the murder and lying to the children is worse than
Lying to the
killing them
children.
and
You know,
fucking with
the
them.
scriptures say that if you are to lead one of these little ones astray, it's better that you have a millstone tied around your neck and you be thrown into the depths of the sea.
Yeah.
So
That's what's really going on here.
That's
now.
why
So-
we're here.
we want them
No,
to know,
it's
especially
really
when you're a child. It doesn't make sense to you. You're like, I'd fall off the ball. What are you talking about? Let's dig to China and see if this is true. Like, you immediately doesn't make sense. Like, oh,
So
gravity.
that actually raises a good question. If it's flat, how flat is it?
The deepest hole dug is 8 miles, so we could speculate all day, but we don't know the deepest hole dug. It's called the
What would
Kowal.
you guess that at a certain
Why-
point,
why
if you
guess?
is there another side you can go down?
Why would we guess?
I would actually, to speculate, just to answer your speculative question.
And don't get me wrong, these are not.
Yeah,
these are
when
not
just pie in the
easy to
sky
split. These are
guesses.
Like, I'm just asking questions.
Listen to what I'll say. There's electromagnetic.
disprove it.
There's electromagnetic field on the Earth. The magnetic fields are toroids. They're like a donut. So we live in the plane through the middle of it. It's called the inertial plane. So there's an energy field above us, and there also has to be one below us. Now what that is, how far the land is within that energy field below us, I don't know. Like you said, 7.8 miles is the deepest they've gone down. And they debunked the globe Earth with every layer. Every mile. They're like, oh, it's going to be hot. It was cold. Oh, there's going to be no water. Tons of water. You know, they didn't know anything. They claimed to know the layers of the Earth to the core, but they didn't know anything down to 8 miles. And you can't go deeper. The drill bits could not go further. So they're lying about where they're going, and they don't know what the core of the Earth is. They can't go past 8 miles. But there's an energy field below us. You keep hearing as above, so below, and all these Gnostic. That's why, because I think it's literal electromagnetic field. But I don't know what it is, right? I don't know how it looks down there, bro.
And you asked why we do this. I didn't get to answer, but Yeshua, the greatest example of how we should live, said, you want to be great? Go serve everyone. Be the least among everyone. Everyone says, I want to be great. Feed me grapes and, fan me with palm leaves. But he had a different formula for being great. So what I do is I go around giving as much as I can. Even though I don't have a lot to give, I have a lot of information to share. And that changes people's lives, bro. I've gotten flat earthers married, met thousands of people. It's so inspiring, and then I get hated on a lot. But the scriptures say, rejoice when men revile you and curse you and speak all kind of evil against you, for great is your reward in heaven. So people might say, Nate, you're having too much fun and you're partying way too much. And I say, well, I'm just getting hated on a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm told to rejoice, And so, and everyone's heard the Jesus message, John 3:16, but you tell them Genesis is real and they're lying about space, and that leads you down all sorts of other rabbit holes like adrenochrome and Pizzagate and all that stuff. You're just like, wow, we need to wake people up. This is weird.
No, for sure. It's all about a wake up. Here's a big question. There are 3 young guys all in California in a fucking Newmar.
Well, not all 3 of us from Cali. He's from Tennessee. I've been in Virginia for the last year, staying with one of my people who supports me. Has an empty house with 5 bedrooms on the water. But he's from California. He just likes our activism and was like,
is this your Newmar?
Yeah, we were going to do it in the van, bro, because we think it's that important to travel around. We were going to go in that van with that dog and stay at Flat Earthers' houses and pitch tents and stuff. And he said, no, you're not. I'm going to come over there. And we didn't know him. I said, what if you're weird? He goes, well, send me home.
He looks a little weird.
No, we're all a little weird. If you're normal,
if you ain't a little weird,
you're weird to me.
I bypass people.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't trust you if you're a little weird. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got to recognize that weirdness.
No, the creator's real, man, and he's trying to wake people up, and so we got to just stand strong. It's gonna get harder to speak the truth, but we have to, dude. We have to speak the truth. And like I said, the children are like an innocent victim here.
Yeah.
It's gonna get way worse than it was for us.
Yep.
They're already getting injected with way more poisons from over 70, right? So it's gonna get worse. We have to do it now. We have to flip the switch where at least the children are told the truth. They get to make their own mind up. There's another viable option of what the Earth is, and you don't have to blindly believe them. And if it gets too far where they start rolling out AI and technology, now people aren't going to school, they stay at their house, we're gonna lose the ability to wake people up. They're gonna plug into this augmented reality, and it's
over. Yeah. Amazon delivers their house. They get points for, doing good things.
Cryptocurrency payments for being compliant with body activity because it's dangerous outside and the air will kill you.
Dude, and people are already afraid of air. They will do anything.
That's gonna work. So
I decline. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm right.
He's kidnapped. We want $1 million. We want $1 million.
Yeah.
He's okay, but we're gonna send a finger.
I've been kidnapped. No, I'm him, man. We have
all right. Well, bro.
You guys get numbers?
Huh? Let's do that.
Go ahead. You want to shoot me a text real quick, and you can call us anytime. Also, I go on a Zoom or a Skype.
Yeah, we could do a Zoom. And just to give you a heads up, I'm launching a new. Well, I've actually the channel's been on for 20 years, but I'm activating a channel called the Light Channel, and it is to cover all subjects. Right? We're going to do a lot of Zoom. We do a lot. Like if y'all were here for another day, we'd set up cameras and do a pub.
Oh, nice.
But we can do it Zoom. It's fine.
Are you going to be here another day?
We're here for 5 months.
Oh, wow.
We actually came in for the winter, but we're only here now for another 3 weeks.
And you just go to another park in Florida.
Well, I mean, we've been off and on with the motorhome for probably 10 years,
Okay.
and been all over in it. But
That's the move, huh?
hey, man, there's something to be said for having wheels under your bed.
Dude,
Right.
it's incredible.
I mean,
now.
why be in any one place? You don't need to be in any one place.
We're
I
not
know.
meant to be like that, bro. We're
Yeah.
supposed to go see the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that sucks. I would love to sit down.
So how do you set up for like you're going to Melbourne? Apparently, people are going to make a presentation. How do you set up for that? How do you arrange it? How do you get people ahead of time?
Well, really, what we're doing is just meeting up with flat earthers. Like we get like stalked by crazy people, bro. We get death threats. You know, we can't like just say, hey, we're gonna be here, everyone come. We like have to vet them in real life because it gets that crazy.
Yeah, so everyone, we make an announcement where we're going to be on certain channels and certain websites, and then I call them. So every single person sends me a phone number. They can bring friends and family, but I make sure they're legit.
This is your phone number here, the 949?
Yeah, and I send you all my information in
Okay,
there, and
perfect.
through
Okay.
that, Wheel
I'll
Plan
send them
Austin,
out.
I tag them in like all the details from my YouTube videos, all
Where
that
are y'all
stuff.
generally going from here? Where are you headed?
We're going Pensacola, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, Austin, then up to Oklahoma. We got a lake house to stay there, and then we want to go to Cali, see his family, my family, and
Going back down through the west, hit the west coast up, and then maybe even all the way back north.
it's like Niagara Falls and Maine and stuff, dude. If you're looking for a story, bro, you should check out some of our videos on YouTube. It is wild.
You
We
have
have
a YouTube channel?
it is wild. I'll send you one of the videos.
Listen, I can
I'm
imagine
actually
you guys are getting a lot of flack.
Oh yeah, I currently can't go live or upload anything.
That's
right
why I
now.
said you have balls. Not to mention, I'm sure you're getting censored like crazy.
It's insane, bro. You'd be surprised though, because you get an email that's like, dude, this changed my life, and you're like, oh, this is why I did it. It's not like the 100 emails I get. They're like, you're a piece of shit. You know, it's the one that's like, ah, man, you're right. The Earth had to be made, bro.
Yeah, of course.
That means I was.
Yeah, I have a strong relationship with the creator now, thanks to you and stuff. Those are that changed my life, you know. Like I'm like, wow, I got to keep pushing hard.
We do have things like conferences, right, where they're open to the public. Everyone knows what's the location of the day. There'll be 500 flat earthers there, you know. So if one of the group of the trolls try to come, they're just gonna get. I mean, they're gonna get embarrassed. So
There's trolls are prolific in everything. I mean, there's no place that you can take a stand and you're not going to get trolls. And online, a lot of those are bots, you know.
It could be for sure, yeah.
accounts, like some dude, some losers making like 50 accounts.
Yeah, I mean, it's either a real bot or a lie. But
Yeah.
first of all, you got to wonder why would somebody. But when you're talking about base reality, what people hold as reality, like is there a flat around? It's amazing how people get.
It's triggering.
They have egos. They're not humble. They have egos. They're trained to have egos. Whoa, we are the Americans, proud and free. Blah blah blah. It's all a joke. You know what I mean? We are enslaved mentally and through debt. And 3 out of 10 people have a negative net worth, bro. They work their whole life to be
By the
negative.
way, talking about that generally, you mentioned Truman. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Of course.
It's just going through the exercise of true as being the root.
Yeah.
TRUE, TRULY, TRUTH, truth.
Truth. TRU. So there's no E in truth.
Right.
Oh
and,
wow.
And TRUMP.
Yeah. And it's trumpets, like trumpets.
And check this. MP means that's the symbol for megapixels. 1 megapixel.
Hey, whoa, Geo. No, Geo, you know better than that. You know better than that, Geo. You know better.
Which works out to 11. So it's not ridiculous by that. So 11 is your first primary number. Megapixel works out to 59. I'm sorry, 92. The exact opposite, both 11s coming out of TRUMP.
Wow.
I just discovered about now Truman. I'm glad to discover
Dude,
that.
Trump
Thank
is
you.
Trump's part of the play for sure, and it's getting crazy. They did a good job with him though, because his role in the play is to act like he's not part of the play. That's his whole
Yeah,
role.
yeah,
And it worked. And that's why I don't think he's gone. I'm not saying when he's coming back. Could be.
yeah.
But dude, he's 2 days.
I hope it's tomorrow.
The best way to control.
What is today?
The best way to control.
The bottom line is the solution to this. He definitely played a role. There's no question. You just look at it from a film standpoint. He's 2 different characters, definitely playing a role. But really, what you're doing, what everybody is doing, what they can. This is not about any one person or any one group doing it. It's really about waking up. The ones who are awake, see light, whether it's flat. And it doesn't even ought to totally matter that we are right about our position, right? It's that we're awake.
Sure.
And we're doing whatever we can to rattle the cages and wake people up. Like,
Right.
get the hell up.
And we're
It's
truly
time.
trying to find the truth, right? Because none of us are going to know all the things before we die. But like, if you really try to find the truth, that's all that matters. Most people don't, though. They already know the truth. They told them that they know everything about a star that's 1,000 light years away. Like, they know everything. So just play your video games. We've already figured it all
We're
out.
the smartest generation ever, and people don't even know we have 50 states.
Well,
What?
here's what really, I don't know if you agree with this, but what I see happening is it's going to get to the point where the people that are awake, they're going to have to detach from the system completely. They're going to have to be able to live on their own. Right? Or you can go along to get along until you have to take a stamp so that you can buy.
And then you're gonna have to make a
So,
big
like,
decision.
We're going to have to network and build communities where we have plenty of fruits and vegetables. And we have
Water.
clean water. We have men.
All the technology is there. All that's there. That's another project that I'm headed up called the Lightning Project.
Oh, yeah?
It's real. The difference between, first of all, star-wise, or the flat or round, star-wise, they're in the exact same configuration they were in 1962.
Yeah, constellations.
They're in the same configuration they were 5,000 years ago, dude.
Yes.
No, but here's the thing. In terms of, there is some movements, and there's it depends on if this negates this, because it comes in handy to be able to track the stars, like looking at the clock of a back of a clock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And saying, well, if I know how to build a clock, I can know what time it is. Like you were going through, seconds, minutes, hours, days, years, decades, century, millennium, age.
Right.
How do you know when you're 2,000 years out? And then when you take that to an epochal year of 26,000 years, and where are we in that cycle? Because that's where we are. With the midnight hour. We're at the beginning of springtime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You remember the show Tron? Tron, the guy rode around the motorcycle on a grid.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, it was in like the 80s and 90s. Oh, it said he was a master of the topography. He understood the light cycles, which they said were motorcycles, but was really the sky. And he had one special power: it was the ability to break down the programming, the brainwashing of the system. And so that's another whole Flat Earth Truman Show movie.
The primary program has been done through media.
Well,
From the beginning. I mean, look.
yeah, true.
The control began to break with the inventing of the printing press, and then radio, and then because people began to be more informed. But all of those, the television programs called television programs.
What's up, Gio?
It's a program.
And it's called a channel.
What's up, bud?
Because you're channeling.
You all right?
Exactly.
Tell lies.
But we still need such things. So what everybody's faced with now is that we realize the communications channels they may have the most basic form of free press, or the First Amendment. They don't apply. And that you see everybody's being censored at every level. It's not just you guys.
No, we're just
everybody.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do we replace that with? Well, we're queued now technologically for Web 3.0 blockchain. It's not a big deal. The question becomes, you can create the technology. It exists now, just like cryptocurrency. You do the same thing with information. It's trustless, meaning it doesn't require trust because it can't be corrupted. You know about blockchain.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So, but then the question becomes, at what point, like everybody's on Telegram now, because it's based on blockchain.
Yeah.
And it's a good step forward. But there's still one person over here that says this is my blockchain.
With a switch.
And with the switch and all the decisions. So the question is, how do you equate a ubiquitous communications system that no one controls?
Trump will come back and bring it.
Well, if I may suggest, that's what the light channel is. The light channel is in a trust called an in God we trust. One word, in God we. In God we. We in God, God in we, in God we trust. Now, on U.S., every dollar and coin says in God we trust. The motto of the United States is in God we trust. But it has no sense. So the bottom line is in a trust, like a children's trust is the beneficiary of children's trust is the children. And a trustee is created whose role is to deliver to the trustee, the beneficiary, to operate on their behalf. So in God we trust, basically we're just trustees. We don't own land, we don't own anything. So everybody becomes a trustee, which is simply you stop at every moment, every action and say, what would God do? Whatever your context of God is, or divinity. What is the best thing I can do for children? What is the best thing I can do for peace, right? So it's moment to moment. And that's the new communication. And, you know, the light channel is simply a shine light. And so now, although that channel was, and the God trust that it's in was created 20 years ago, it is just being activated now. And now I'm beginning to really push forward with the stories to, you know, bring forward. And so that people can, we can communicate without ever being, you know, somebody saying no, whatever. And that's the secret. As long as we communicate, we don't have to physically be in this space.
Yeah, we're in the information age.
Huh? You've heard of D-Live? D-Live. It's decentralized live. So it's the idea that it's on the blockchain, it's decentralized, they can't censor you. Well, I was like, okay, I was getting censored on YouTube, so I moved a bunch of my followers over there. I'm like, go make an account. So I'm basically sales pitching D-Live.
D-Live.
I'm sales pitching for these guys. DLive.tv. And then they demonetize me, X-tag me, censor me into the corner of the website because I speak truth. So that's not decentralized.
No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of
they said
the
it was because of the payment processing company. Whatever excuse they have. There isn't, I don't know what platform you're talking about, but there isn't one I've found available yet.
Oh, it's not there yet. But all the technology, everything's there. It just has not had the baseline philosophy that no one owns it. No one owns it. No one controls it. Right?
They're just members.
Huh?
They're just members.
Trustees.
Trustees, right.
Trustees. We stand for God. Whatever it may be. Right? We stand in our highest divinity, and what we're communicating comes from not trying to be right, not trying to be wrong, but we're all doing what we can to wake this up to become the world we want this world to be. Right? The highest and best thing. So, you know, if you think about it, you guys are probably too young. You look old enough to remember this, but I certainly remember a time when there was no internet. I remember when there was no computers. In fact, my first phone I grew up with was a black phone with no buttons or no dials. You picked up and said, Helen, can you dial 316 for me? Right? When television was a black and white box that had 3 channels, you know, click, tick, tick, right? And that was it. So this ubiquitous communication thing that's unfolded, now you see it's kind of folded into itself. You know, oh shit, it's all controlled. Right? It's all completely controlled. So the question becomes: is how do we decommission the old system? Well, fortunately, given what we know of time, taking that all the way out past the age, now going in from Pisces to Aquarius. We're going, you know, literally the vibration itself. But here's something that you very rarely people ever mention, that in this 26,000 year epochal cycle, the epochal year called precession of the equinox, made up of 12 astrological ages, there's also 4 seasons. There's a spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter. So we're not only going from Pisces to Aquarius, going to an air sign, but we're going to springtime.
Which is the beginning of the year.
We're getting into the light. It's where things come alive, right? Because metaphorically, if you ever do, you know, talk to an indigenous person, whether it's in Australia or in the West Coast, they'll tell you, oh, we're dreaming. This is just a dream. I'm sure you've heard that, right? It's just a dream. Yeah, it is. It's just a dream. We're waking up literally from a hibernation. And the structures that, if you think about like wintertime in the mountains, right? Who is still out, moving about? It is the predators. It is the strong males, the male bears, etc. While everyone else is tucked in, sweeping through it. But when it starts coming up and awake, there's an aspect of, you know, you're small enough. There's a lot of floods, and you know, all part of coming alive. But that's literally where we are in time. In this process, we're waking up going, it's this, it's that, blah, 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 blah. But in truth, it's Irene, and we're all good.
How'd you end up vegetarian for 40 years?
I was in my 20s doing my first National Geographic assignment in Guatemala.
Well,
living up in nowhere in the jungle, and my wife at the time got really sick and almost lost or died. And,
no.
Ended up with a shaman and then to a naturopathic center, a naturopathic hospital or clinic, whatever you call it there. And begin to get eyes open about what we eat. So, yeah.
Wow.
So,
And so you said you're vegan now. How long has that been?
maybe 12 years.
Wow, 12 years, bro.
Started.
Dude, you look so good for 71, you said?
Uh-huh.
Congratulations, bro. You're like the Michael Jordan of living long.
Hey, I'm only getting started.
I know. I know you're feeling.
Hey, I want to tell you, Tony, because I don't know if I'm out every morning before dawn out there. That's how I saw your slack line, which drew me back.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to tell some of these older folks that as you get older, you start losing your balance. In fact, if I had known you ahead of time, I'd been trying your slack line. But I'm out every morning, first of all, getting barefooted.
Of course, in grounding.
Presence coming up, and then getting in balance.
There you
Of
go.
course.
Man, that's what's up.
Getting in balance is all about it, right? That's why I wanted to try your slack line.
Go try
It's
it.
the only thing I have to go now. I'm always about to flip it.
No
There have
way.
to be something. I would encourage you to get your feet close on the ground.
Oh, of course, without these.
Huh?
Yeah, to take the shoes off and ground.
It's
Without, yeah, I know. I agree. I wear them because like when I'm walking on this stuff, to get over there.
Oh yeah, no, that's
You know.
yeah. That's why I use flip flops.
Do you think that maybe sleeping on the ground is good for us too, then?
I think anything on the ground is good for it, but certainly walking on the ground
Yeah, for sure.
is good for us. I mean,
'Cause
that's
you're
why
electric.
primitively we were healthy. You know about like foot zone reflexology is a mirror of the human body. Big toes the head, cross here is the lungs. A foot zone reflexologist will go to, if you're having a lung problem, you massage it, it'll be a pain. And then you massage it, actually sends a signal to that there's a problem to the brain. It's a form of,
That's a trip. I never heard of that.
it actually works. And one of the reasons why we stayed healthy in primitive forms because we're always massaging the bottom of my feet.
Okay.
But then when you take that and combine it with Schumann's resonance, the actual vibration, the frequency of the planet itself,
Yeah.
which is increasing at an exponential rate, and whether this is flat or round, it is negatively
Negatively
charged in the
Flat.
atmosphere. Whatever it is, whether it's a fly, is positively charged.
Yes.
So when you connect to the ground and you get in balance, which opens up all the circuits, and just get loose, you just become like a lightning rod and just clears through.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the only way that could happen actually is if the Earth was flat. It's the inertial plane. But you're exactly right. That's what they kind of call gravity. It's all electric. You're electric. Your heart doesn't like pump blood. It's a magnet. You circulate blood. You're electric. The Earth's electric and alive. And so yeah, you're supposed to resonate in that same resonance of where you live. And it's a plane of existence, and it's electric. And so that's why things go to the ground typically, because it's negatively charged and higher is positively charged, as you said. That's why we have lightning, right? And none of this could happen without a firmament. None of this could happen without the inertial plane, because electricity is just magnetism. That's all it is. We were lied to about electricity, so we would be dependent on their nonsense, right? That's a lost AC generator where energy is being lost, but magnetism doesn't lose energy. And Nikola Tesla said that that's how you have energy. It's the rotating magnetic field. So like they've lied about what magnetism is. So electricity and magnetism are interchangeable basically. They're like a different modality of the same thing, water, ice.
Tesla said you want to understand the universe, understand frequency, vibration, and
Yes,
energy.
Yeah, and those are all basically interchangeable. They're like intertwined, like they're like a water, fire. I mean, like water, ice, vapor. So when you're on the plane in the middle of the magnetic field, you're aligning. You have a magnetic field too. People call it your aura, your chi. They say, right? You have a literal magnetic field.
Yeah.
And if you have to strengthen it and get it aligned with the magnetic field of the Earth, yeah, you're going to be healthy.
And open it up. And literally, I have to heal broken shoulders. I mean, you can heal right up.
That's what I'm doing
Huh?
too. Yeah.
You like broken shoulders?
Yeah, man. A long time ago.
Yeah, no, I've had two where the orthopedic surgeons fucked the life and I've healed them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By grounding and balancing out.
Well, this one, I for years flew a powered paraglider as a cinematographer.
Wow.
So I'd have to trim the wings. So if I didn't, normally control it like this, but to free up my right camera my right hand for the camera, I would trim the wings so I always had a whole pressure. And then even more, and just totally just like pulling the rope over,
Yeah.
thing. I just shredded my rotator cuff ligaments.
That sounds like fun though.
But that one I healed primarily by going in the ocean every morning.
Oh yeah?
It was waveless.
Man, I need this
Salt
guy's
water.
water for real.
But this one actually was really funny because I lived here for years, so I'd be at the ocean every morning at dawn. And spending took me about 8 months to heal this. From what the surgeon said, there's nothing we can do. You're fucked. Your shoulder's fucked. It'll never heal. Get used to it. You're fucked. In 8 months, healed it 100%. And so then it was just every morning going in the ocean. Like 3 months later, it was a very, very, very rough day, and I went out and jumped on a wave that was beyond my anyway, ended up being smashed down, flipped this arm backwards, had to reset it myself before the next wave hit, and just destroyed the shoulder. That was 2 years ago with the doctor.
Ouch.
I had broken bones, split 26 rotator cuff. You know, I mean, it was very painful. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, it's, yeah, I'll be
Yeah, no pain.
Because you do so much with it, and you don't realize it till it's hurt.
But that's how I do it. That's how I do it. And if I don't do that, in a few days, pain will sort things out.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, well, how long you guys been here?
A couple days.
Shit! I heard your dog.
Yeah, everyone hears them.
Damn, I should have come over. I didn't. I wish you. Did you just put a sign up, or I just missed it?
It's been up since day one.
I didn't notice it until, well, actually last evening when I was coming home.
Yeah. Most people are like, oh, what is this? I gotta get away.
No, I've literally, you know, as I said, honestly, I've covered any subject you can think about.
Except flat Earth.
Huh?
Except flat Earth.
I have not done flat
Maybe this
Earth
will be
specifically,
the first.
but only in relation to the story on Koresh, on the internal group.
Yeah.
It's still kind of the same context. And this was a guy in 1910 who offered a $5,000 reward that anybody could disprove.
Yeah, see,
And nobody could.
I do think we live in a sphere, but the floor is flat.
What's that?
I do think we live in a celestial sphere. Like everything around us is in a ball, but the floor.
Well, I'm gonna have to go, but I'm gonna just leave you guys with this because you might maybe find this useful. So my primary thing in my life has been as a journalist, a filmmaker, covering the beat, right? What they came out of was at a point in time having a master journalist give me the one thing that it took to be a journalist. Now, remembering that at least in America, it's not our right to be a journalist. It's our obligation. That's why the First Amendment protects it. It's the only profession, the only avocation that's protected by the U.S. Constitution. As a journalist, it's our job. That's what you're doing.
I agree.
Right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, if there was, if you just get down to one thing, right? I mean, as a journalist, people say, what's the who, what, where, why. There are all kind of physical ways of creating a story, whatnot. But here's the one thing of finding the truth, pursuing the truth, is you have to be willing at every moment to suspend your beliefs.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right? Now we're talking about spelling. Think about this. B-E space L-I-E space V-E.
Be-lie.
B-lie-V. V actually is the state of being, one. The next word is lie, L-I-E, and V-E, the root word of to live, livre, V-E.
Like Veni Vidi Vici.
So, believe literally means to live a lie. Literally means to live a lie. Now, we think of lies in a way that we've been sort of, is that's an intentional form of telling an untruth. A lie, I mean, I'm telling you something I know is not true. Right?
Still unintentional lies. Too.
But in truth, a lie, to live a lie, to a belief, is to live something that is not true. And it is not true unless, simple definition, it's true all the time, everywhere, for everyone, no matter what. Now, whether the earth is flat or round, what's true for everyone is the sun apparently comes up over there and apparently goes down over there. For everyone, no matter where you are.
The sun moves.
Right.
Yeah, but we have 24-hour days where the sun doesn't go down some places, just so you know.
Well, I'm saying depending on where you are. But the point I'm trying to say, and the reason why I'm giving you this is because it may help in your mission, right? Because when you come from a space, it's what brings people into the, well, I'll be fucked. That's not what I believe. When you come with, I know the truth, right? Because in fact, you don't know the truth. Nobody knows the truth. The truth is unknowable. So if you do your life, you do your inquiry from the standpoint of suspending your beliefs as much as possible so that the truth can reveal itself. Same way you discovered what you have now,
Right.
what you know now,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
So, and what you'll find, because if, in fact, what we want to do is wake people up, right? It waking people up works so much better. Wake the fuck up!
Absolutely.
Right? It's like, oh, you want to come up fighting.
Yeah.
Because if you create a position, I know the earth is flat, you're requiring someone who doesn't know the earth is flat to oppose that.
Yeah.
Right? So you will get some people along the way who are going to like weed through because they're pursuing as well. But if you can just bring it to the questions, like here are the questions, like the 50 questions in that site. Shit, I never thought about that from that standpoint. Those are good questions. It raises questions like, well, it's true if you throw something up, and you know, but how? Like some of the questions I ask, I'm looking forward to our having this Zoom call, and the main reason I'm telling you all this is because you want to speak affirmatively from what you believe to be true, without having to make it right. So when we speak, be as calm as you possibly can be. Habakkuk says that there's a tendency when we open conversations about, especially volatile conversations like this, it's like you want to have to speak fast.
Yeah.
Like, I got to tell you all this fast because if not, I'm going to lose you.
Yeah.
Because my wife is now saying, get your butt home. Yep.
All righty.
So be
Have to
patient.
leave in about,
Be patient.
Be patient.
And meek, gentle.
Be patient and be compassionate, right? Because if you do have something, and this applies for anything, whether it's being a vegan, I never tell somebody they need to be a vegan. And now, you know, somebody says, why are you a vegan? I'll go through the process. Well, this is when you ask, how did you discover it? Well, way back when I stopped and think, and tracking all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, really, when it comes down to it, yes, I think it's healthier and all that sort of thing. But consciously, I just don't like things being killed, especially in a horrible way they're killed.
Exactly.
So, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true that.
And I don't need it to be healthy. In fact, actually, I don't want the energy of something killed. But you know, I had a ranch for a long time, a farm for a long time, and I kept a cow on it. So when somebody visited and there was a meal without beef, and they asked about beef, I hand them a bat and say, "This cow, there, go ahead and get it."
Yeah.
I've never had one person go out to eat.
Wow. Not one person said, all right,
bro.
that's hilarious. That's OG right there, bro.
Great method right there.
Yeah, right. I wonder if any of those people said, I'll just have the vegetables for now on, you know.
Right? You weren't like, what are you doing trying to eat meat, you crazy psycho? You were just like, go eat the meat, bro.
Yeah, there's a cow.
All you can really do is be an example of who you are based on your experiences and your philosophies. And be light in it. Be light in it because it's really not about. Who plays guitar, by the way?
I try.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you some songs.
All right, cool.
Anyway, I got it.
You gotta go. We gotta go too. We're out today, so we'll see you soon. Call us.
All right, one more
Skype.
time. It's Nick,
Nathan.
Austin,
Chris.
got it.
Robert.
Yeah,
Nick,
Nathan.
Austin.
Nathan.
Nathan. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
No, it's alright. I text you.
Huh?
I text you my name,
Okay.
Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, and you can find Austin through there. I'll send you Austin's too.
All right. Well, I'll
get
send
his
you my
number.
stuff. We'll stay in touch, and then sometime when y'all get landed and have a good. I don't know if I have a good enough signal here, but we'll do a Zoom conversation.
Right.
And we'll
That'd be
record it so that you'll have it. That's really the main purpose. Is so that you have it.
We have everything. These right here.
What?
There's a camera right here. We get everything, bro. We get everything. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and kill that off the record.
Yeah. Well done.